All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday evening. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are back. We missed last week. It was just, honestly, had a lot of extra stuff going on. Was pulling some extra shifts and at my second job, and was in my final massive week of training. So we'll talk about all of that today, as far as like training and everything. But yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for joining. Tonight is going to be a good one. We are like 19 days out from the Indiana Trail 100. So this is a race that I've had on my calendar for a long time, and I'm so ready, and we'll dive into everything that's been going on the last couple weeks. So if you're watching live, drop in the chat where you're watching from. Yeah, we'll get this party started. Let's go. All right. How's everyone doing? We got Platts 33s in the house. Good evening, everyone from Illinois. 10 days out from the Hennepin 100. My first 100-miler. Awesome. That's so cool, man. Hennepin is I've heard it's a really good race. I know a couple people that have done it before, so that should be a fun one. Good luck. 10 days. So you're like hopefully really tapered at this point and ready to go. What's up? We got Wicked World ASL Rock in the house. Yo, Ryan, glad to see you back. Thanks for joining. Justin Turnbow's here. Hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sadly, DNF Run Rabbit Run 50. Oh no. Still wore out from Leadville. Yeah, that's very understandable. No excuses. Got the hat. Thanks, Ryan. Awesome. Sweet. And speaking of that, I've got some merch right here. We'll talk about that in a second because we have some new stuff in the store. Brett's here. Greetings from Central Texas. Nicholas Bodner's here. Greeting from Pennsylvania. Glad to catch this one live. Awesome. Yeah, Justin, speaking of, so Run Rabbit Run was this past weekend. And I'm wearing the shirt because I was feeling in the mood. Did this race a couple of years ago, 2018, and just had a. I mean, it was awful. It was really hard, but had a blast. Loved that area of Colorado, and I was just listening to a podcast this afternoon, actually, while I was getting some stuff done. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's David and Megan Roach. It's their podcast. I hope I'm saying their last name right. I don't know if I've ever really. It's called the Some Work All Play Adventure Podcast. And they were just out at Run Rabbit Run because they had a bunch of athletes there. And it was just fun, like hearing them talk about that race because they're so experienced, like in the ultra coaching world and all of that, and just to hear them talk about like just how brutal that course was really kind of cool to relive a little bit of that and just yeah. But that's a crazy course. Eduardo Sanchez is here. Hello from San Diego. What's up? Duno's here from Pacific Northwest. What's up? Chris Rose is here from San Antonio. My new hat from you is on the way. Awesome. So these are So we got some new merch in the store, and I just was able to get mine in the mail. We have these trucker hats, which this is the white and black version with the blue logo. And then I also have, you guys have seen in my videos, this one, this black on black, and that is all sweat stains. So I probably could like wash that off. But going with, I'm going to go for the race. I'm going to go with the black and white, the blue logo. And then also some beanies. I'm really excited about these. These are some pretty sweet beanies. So we also have sweatpants, which mine are on the way. And what else we got? Oh, so the shirts are now a vintage style shirt, which I thought that was really cool. The previous shirts that everyone's got up until this point, so every couple months I'm going to change what's in the store, what's available. So the previous shirts were like a really kind of like heavy, thick cotton shirt, and went with it's called like vintage style. So it's kind of like, it feels worn in. I thought it was pretty cool. I picked one up. In fact, if you saw my GoPro video that I just posted like 2 hours ago, the second half of that video, I'm wearing one of those vintage style shirts. And so it's got new colors. Like it's like I think it's called the oatmeal color. I don't know what it's called. Off-white, something like that, with a light blue logo. So you can get tons of different colors now too. So that's awesome. Really excited about that. Brian Steinberg's here. What's up? Grand Rapids. How's it going? Russell House is in the house. What's up, man? So freaking proud of you. Grindstone 100 finisher, Russell House. In fact, I think you were top 40. You were like 37 or something, 37th place, 27 and a half hours. Just crushed that course. Huge congrats, Russell, to you. I'm really proud of you, buddy. It says, hope your taper's going well. Looking forward to seeing how IT 100 shakes out. Me too. So far, taper is going really, really, I mean, I haven't really noticed much, except, honestly, I will say the last couple hours, I have felt much more energy than I normally feel in the evenings, which is great. So my last long run was Saturday, and then that was a 22 miler, and then I finished up on Sunday with like a little over 11. And then Monday, yesterday, I did 5 miles, and see if I can pull this up. I wanted to pull up some software that I use called WKO, but it like wasn't opening. So I'm going to see if I can share Safari instead, where I've got just Training Peaks open. So here we go. We got Training Peaks open here. This is, like we said, my performance management chart. We look at this, every couple weeks or so to see how we're doing. The dark blue shaded area is kind of like my fitness level. Yellow line is training stress balance. Pink line is the acute training load. And so when you're training hard, those are going to be separating. And then when you start to recover, they start to come back. But this is also not like, so Training Peaks, the way they score all of your runs and workouts and everything, it works really, really, really well when you're running on roads. It's not so great on trails, although you can still get a pretty good idea. So that's why we kind of see like a little bit of, it looks like I'm starting to recover just a little bit too early, but that's because I've started doing a lot more of my weekly runs on trails as well. But yeah, that's where we are. Like, honestly, like this is the last 365 days, but I can pull up just like the last, let's see, like 90 days to look at more of like what this training cycle has looked like since, okay, yeah, so that's basically Western States right here. This is where I paced at Western States. And then the road up to the IT 100. Looks like I finished with my highest CTL chronic training load. It was a 99, which my goal was to hit 100. For me, anytime I'm anywhere near 100, I know that I'm really well trained. So 99, we just about did it. That could be, I mean, there's room for error in there. I probably hit it, but yes, what it's going to look like now, is this is going to start dropping like a rock, this chronic training load. And then my training stress balance is going to skyrocket, and my acute training load is going to also drop like a rock. And the reason why I'm doing this is because you have to recover when you're tapering. And I've been talking to one of my good friends, Travis, as well, who also has a 100-miler on October 9th. He's doing the Heartland 100. And so our races are sort of similar as far as his is like going to be more on like gravel roads and stuff, but neither of them are in the mountains. They should be like faster hundreds for each of us in our personal journeys. But we've had very similar training leading up to these two races. So I've been talking to him about kind of like what his taper looks like, and just like bouncing some ideas off him and stuff. And we've both been talking about how we both really like Jason Koop, coach. Just an incredible like wealth of wisdom in the ultra running coaching world. And so the way that kind of both of us are going to be tapering, and I can speak for myself specifically, is really like it's a 3-week taper, and you like really just crush yourself. You crush yourself until 3 weeks out. And then that first week, you really want to drop your volume dramatically to about 45 to 50% of where you have been previously. So for me, if we're looking at just strictly miles, I've been averaging somewhere around like 82 to 85 miles a week for the past 5 weeks. And then before that, was in the 70s, 60s, 50s. So I built up really well. This has been the best training I've ever had over the last couple months. So this week, my goal is to be, if we're just looking at just miles, my goal will be somewhere around like maybe 40 miles for the week. But we'll just see. It's also going to have to do with time, because I've been averaging somewhere in between like 14 to 15 hours of actual running per week, which like that doesn't count like the time you're tying your shoes and like that's actually starting the watch to stopping the watch. So about 14 and a half to 15 hours. So this week it'll be closer to like maybe 7.5 hours, and about 42 miles is what I'm going for. But I'm going to keep pretty much everything else exactly the same. Like I haven't been doing a ton of intensity just because I've been so crushed these last couple weeks that, volume has been king, honestly, right? During this last month, I have been doing about once a week. I was able to get in a session where I did, some intensity. So I was happy with that. So I'll probably towards the end of the week, maybe I'll be able to work something in where I do a couple mile repeats, but dropping the volume like a rock to about 45, 50% of where your past couple weeks have been during this first week. But intensity stays pretty much the same, and specificity stays pretty much the same. Like you don't want to change everything you're doing. If you run all your runs on the trails, you don't want to start running them all on the roads or track. Or if you run everything on the roads, you don't want to all of a sudden start running everything on trails. You just want to kind of change one variable at a time. Second week, you're going to drop your volume again, maybe another 50% on that. So if I'm at 40 to 42 this week, the next week will be somewhere around like 20 to 25 miles at most. And we're also dropping intensity a little bit. And we will be, that'll be that week I will like my recovery is going to like skyrocket during that week because I'm going to have so much time. The other thing is this week, when we're changing volume, we don't want to change frequency. So I've been running every day, so I'm going to keep running every day this week. But that second week, you're dropping volume again, and you're dropping the frequency. So I'm going to take a couple days off next week. And then the final week, the third week, the week right before the race, I'm going to maybe run 2 or 3 times and drop my volume again another 50%. And so I'm probably going to be sitting at like maybe 12 miles or something walking into the race for that week, but that'll be exactly where I need to be so that I'm like tapering properly. And hopefully through this, we'll see like just this week, by the end of this week, I should feel pretty amazing. And by the end of next week, most of my sort of like annoying things or slight injuries should be pretty much worked out, hopefully. And then that final week will be a whole lot of just like rest and just really, hopefully, feeling like I'm on top of the world, just ready to go crush this race. And getting everything in order. Because the other thing is the week before the race, there's a lot of extra like external stressors. There's travel, there's packing, there's a whole lot of other stuff. And so you don't want to be like running a whole lot during that time either. So yeah, Russell, that's how it's going. Long answer to your question, but that's what my taper looks like. So on Strava, you're going to see a whole lot of like this week, you're going to see a whole lot of like 5-mile runs, 4-mile runs, because every day needs to be dropped about 50% of what I have been doing the past couple weeks. And the past couple weeks, I've been averaging about 10 miles a day during the week. So I'll be going with about 4 or 5. And the other thing is I was introducing a lot of doubles, but I'm not going to be doing that this week because I am dealing with a couple slight, again, they're not injuries, they're just annoyances. There's another word for them, but I don't like using that word. But they're just kind of like annoying things going on with one with my quad, one with my foot, and another one with kind of my, I don't know exactly what the muscle's called, but it's an upper leg as well. So we're just trying to rest. We're trying to recover, trying to get a whole lot of these things working themselves out. So that's why I'm not going to be doing doubles this week. Even though you don't want to really drop your frequency, I'm thinking like last week I did 9 runs. I don't need to do 9 runs, this week during my taper. I'll be fine with 7 this week. So yeah, that's how it's going. So right now, I really haven't felt any different until I did notice at about 6 p.m. tonight, I was feeling like I had a lot more energy than I have had at 6 p.m. in months. So that was cool to see. Question from Duno says, realistically, how many 50 milers or 100K should one do before trying a 100 miler? That's a good question. I think, like, honestly, at least one 50 miler, but it would not hurt to do 2 or 3. From my experience, I did 3. I think I did 3 50 milers. Never did 100K. And then my first 100 miler was Grindstone. And that was not the best one to start with, as Russell knows, because he just did it. I love jogging says, finally made it to the live show. Hi from Wichita, Kansas. Only these on the calendar. 24-hour run this fall and another 100 miler in the spring. Whoa, a 24-hour run. I would love to do one of those soon. Not soon. Well, maybe soon. Soon as in the next couple years. I think that would be just really cool to see. But honestly, like, I've never run a 100 miler in under 24 hours. So hopefully that's going to happen in 2.5 weeks at the IT 100. And then after that, I'll have like a much better idea of where, like where I am as an athlete on the spectrum of, like what can I do? And this is something that's like, I'm really kind of, I'm really, really interested to see what happens. And I honestly don't have a clue what's going to happen. I think, there might be, there might be like some assumption or something where I'm like, oh yeah, I think I can get this. I think I can, based off of some of my other races and this vertical profile, based off of a couple of my training runs that I did up there at the park. Like when I was running with a friend, I did the whole 25-mile loop in 4 hours and 20 minutes. And I felt pretty tired at the end of that. So that was definitely too fast for me at that point in my training. Cause I think I had 50 miles on my legs going into that day, or somewhere around there. But so I was definitely like too fast for that time. And then when I went up there and did it solo, by myself, I did it in like 4 hours and 40 minutes. But again, that was like after a 50-mile week, putting my weekly mileage at around like 75. So who knows? Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, I would be perfectly happy with going up there and doing the first lap in somewhere around like 5 hours. And then just seeing where it goes from there, because this is a 25-mile course. So there's 4 laps. So if I can do that first lap in 5 hours, I think that will feel like I'm running, but also it'll feel like I'm being conservative. And then the second lap, see what happens. But again, like if I could do that one again in somewhere around 5 hours, come to the halfway point at about 10, that's kind of like that's kind of like the limit, that's kind of where my expectation ends. After that, I have no idea like what's going to happen. And I also don't want to try to plan out anything farther than that. Like just from my 2 training runs up there, I'm pretty confident about the first lap. I think 5 hours is pretty conservative for that. As long as I don't get stuck in some sort of, I don't know, like massive train of people that is just going really slow for like an hour. But I don't think that will happen. My plan is to try to start closer to the front. Normally in these kind of races, normally in 100-milers, I start middle of the pack, sometimes even the back, because I'm just like, I'm not trying to be competitive here. And I know that it's a long, long race, and it's more fun passing people than getting passed. So a lot of times I start in the middle or the back. But this race, just because of how how I think my fitness is right now, I do feel like I want to start closer to the front so that those first couple miles, I'm not getting discouraged. Like I'd rather feel like I'm running my own race from the beginning rather than, possibly being a little bit like if I get caught like because there's going to be like 400 people on the start line. So I don't want to, and the single track starts like pretty quick. So I just don't want to feel like I'm trying to pass people for like the first 3 hours. I just want to feel like I'm running my race. But we'll see. Like I'm just like that. But the first lap, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what I think I can do. Second lap, I could probably, I feel like another 5-hour lap is maybe in the cards. And then after that, after the halfway point, I have no idea. I also like don't. I also need to start getting a clear picture on like who's going to be there, like my crew and pacers. So far, I have 2 people that are 100% confirmed. My mom's going to be there for the first time, which is really cool. Neither of my parents have ever been to a 100-miler. and my mom wants to come to this one, so that's going to be awesome. Well, she's not going to be pacing. She'll be there to help support and crew. And then my good friend Matt is going to be there. He's going to be crew captain. And he's also going to pace a few miles, hopefully, but he's also doing a 100-miler the weekend before. So we'll see how many miles he can actually do. But yeah, other than that, like I have a couple people that are hopefully coming, but just don't have like complete confirmations yet. So yeah, I need to figure all that out. If any of you guys are going to be there and you want to help in any way, send me a DM on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way. Or if you guys are going to be there and you just have like cameras, even if it's just like cell phones or anything like that, like I'm going to try and, I think this isn't a new idea. Like Seth does this at all his races. But like he sets up like some sort of like a Google folder or something, and people can just drop files in there. So even if you're there and you have like cell phone footage, some cool stuff that you want to share, maybe we can set something up like that. Or if you have a GoPro and you want to come hang out, or if you have like a cinema camera or something and you know you're a professional documentary filmmaker and you want to come and just hang out, like that would be cool too. But let's see. Justin says, how's the GoPro 10? Nice. I like it a lot. I actually have it right here. And I just posted a video on it. So, it's like just it's not like it started off and it was just going to be my first impressions. And then as I'm editing it and I'm finishing it up, I'm like, this is like, I actually have a pretty good handle on how this camera works right now. So I still called it first impressions because I just didn't want, like a bunch of people to come out in the comments and be like, this is like, you know, whatever, not a review or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good video. I think it put some good thoughts together, but yeah, really big improvements in several areas that I use a lot. And I wish GoPro would, send their cameras out to more people that actually use them. This is one of my like things with GoPro, is that they you know, like all of the reviews you see in the first couple weeks are from like these massive channels that never use GoPros. And they get them sent to them, and I'm not complaining here. I wish that GoPro would just send more out to people that actually use them, because there are a ton of channels that are built on GoPros, and it would be cool to get a bunch of people. Some of the people that are probably here watching right now, it'd be cool if GoPro sent some extras out to people that actually use them. Plots 33 says, have you set a pacing plan for IT100? Yeah, kind of. I think you probably asked this question probably before I was talking about it. But as far as pacing goes, I think, pacing, I'm trying to think of the actual pace you have to run, for a 24-hour 100-miler. You have to run 13:48 per mile. No, that's 23 hours. For a 24-hour, you have to run 14:24. So I will have 14:24 is the overall pace that you have to run for a 100-miler. If I'm trying to do my laps in 5 hours, the first lap has to be a 12-minute pace or less. So the first 2 laps I'm going to be shooting for 12-minute per mile or less, which is moving across trails. Like it's not, I mean, that's not, I mean, you're moving if you're keeping a pace under 12 minutes per mile. So I want to keep moving through aid stations. My biggest thing is that I want to be so prepared for different nutrition problems. And I want to have, like, I've been really working on that over the last couple months. I've been really using UCAN a lot. In the last couple weeks, I've been just really trying to train my gut. As far as like taking a gel every like 45 minutes or so while I'm running, and trying to kind of like overload it, like taking UCAN, throwing gels in every 45 minutes, taking some extra tailwind, like getting in, like just drinking too much water at certain points during training, and not like in a dangerous way. Don't like, I'm not promoting that, but like I come to the car and, you know, I just chug a bottle of water and I stand there for like a minute or two and then go run again, and just trying to like train myself for, train my stomach to start processing things, like well during training. And even these short runs that I'm doing, like today I did a 4 miler, and at the 1.5 mile mark, I took a gel, and I didn't need it. But I wanted to train, my gut to, process this food while I'm running, because as I look back on all the training that I've done for these past 100 milers, my last 400 milers, I've had really bad stomach issues. And like, it's sort of obvious looking back now, but I totally didn't like see it in the moment. But like, I didn't really train, my gut well at all. I've never really have. I used to during when I was doing triathlons. But then I started ultra running, and like my weekday runs, even like a 10-mile run, I don't like taking a gel out on a 10-mile run, just because like, it can get expensive if you take a gel on every single run or two. And also it's just like, I just don't like taking them. I don't know. But during races you have to. And so I would always train this way, and I would train with like my nutrition on my long run days. Like on a Saturday, I'm going out for a 20 miler. Yeah, I'll take a couple gels and some drink mix as I go. But doing that once a week, I'm just wondering if maybe that was like not nearly enough. And so this year, last 3 or 4 months or so, I've been really trying to get on that and train my gut to process food during every single run. So especially, I mean, even like over the next couple of weeks, like even if I do a 3 mile run, I'm going to take a gel halfway, because I just need my gut to expect that. I need to process food. So that's the thing. If I'm moving efficiently in those first 50 miles or so, taking nutrition, I'm drinking my drink mix with UCAN, I'm taking gels, I'm stopping at aid station and like grabbing a bite or two to eat as I go, coming back to my crew and seeing them, and hopefully getting like some sort of solid food in at the end of every lap. Like that's going to be the most important thing for my race. Like, I know my legs, all my energy systems, they're really well trained at this point for doing a race like this. This is the best training I've ever had. So it's going to come down to executing all of the other things on race day. It's going to come down to gear, like making sure shoes, socks are good, nutrition. Yeah, it's going to be wild. I'm really excited, but I'm also like freaking out a little bit, because I have higher expectations on myself for this one than I normally have, in a good way. And that's one of the things that's driving me. So, yeah. Who else is here? Tim Watson says, dropping in between classes. Love hearing the nerdy details in your plans. Nice. Yeah, we can get all nerdy. Talk about all the plans. Before I forget, we should definitely do the buckle cam. We got the buckle cam going on over there, guys. In the front left, you can see my Run Rabbit Run buckle. It's a little bit out of focus. But yeah, that's the race that was just this past weekend. And also the Grindstone 100 buckle over there this past weekend. Russell House has one of those. So yeah. Let's see who else we got here. Dino said a little over a month till Javelina 100. My first attempt at a 100 miler, then Bandera 100K in January. That's awesome, man. Both those races I really want to do. Oh man, if I could do, yeah. If I lived out west, I probably would have done both of those already, because those are both just like, they seem so cool. But yeah, traveling in January. I'm also usually not very well trained in January because I live in the Midwest and the weather is like awful for those couple months. Hard to deal with now that we have the bigger batteries. Aaron Wagner says, I decided to pick up a GoPro 10. This is my first action camera. I need to practice with it. Do you recommend a selfie stick, selfie mount, or just handheld? Yeah, awesome, dude. So this is the what's it called? The shorty stick. And it's awesome. This is what I use 90% of the time. And it bends about an extra 6 inches or so. And it has a tripod on it, which is pretty sweet. So you can, but this is what I use, and this is what I use during races too. And for two reasons, really, is because it does help with stabilizing your footage, because holding a selfie stick is a lot easier than like holding a GoPro. Like, you're going to get less movement by holding a stick. You can kind of swivel it around, do different things with it. It's also harder to drop if you're holding onto the stick, but then also you're not going to accidentally cover up the microphones. And there's 3 microphones on here, and there's the bottom, front, and top. And there used to be microphones on the side that people would a lot of times cover up, but a lot of times, like, you'll hear things like people will accidentally cover up 1 or 2 of the microphones. And if you don't have the settings set properly, you're going to get some really, really bad audio. And that was one thing that I struggled a lot with when I was editing the Triple Crown series, is because Rob didn't want to use a selfie stick, which is fine. Like, he's running 200-mile races. I'm not going to ask him to carry an extra piece of gear. But there was a lot of times where I don't know exactly how he was holding it, but he was covering up the microphones, and it was just like no sound, or just like really garbled sound. So I had to do some creative things, pull audio from a different track or a different time, or just put music over it. I got really creative with that. You can do a lot of things when you're editing video. But yeah, this is the selfie stick I would recommend to start with. Just a selfie, the shorty stick is what it's called. And it's not bad. And then if you want to get something bigger or different, you can. But yeah, and then this just like, I just like throw it in my, if I'm wearing a pack, I just kind of like put it in usually like this pocket, like right by a bottle, or sometimes in the back in the kangaroo pouch. Or during this race, since I'm not going to be wearing a pack, I'm going to put it in my belt loop. Belt. It's going to be, so this is another thing I need to decide on. I've been trying different options recently. The shorts I'm going to run in, I'm probably going to run in the T8 shorts that I just did a review on, because I like them a lot. But I have a couple other options that are like exactly the same, except for the material. Like T8's material is unique and a little bit, it's going to be really great for like hot weather conditions. Cold weather conditions I'm not sure on yet, because it's not been cold. So I have a couple other pair of shorts, but they all have like those pockets like around the waistband. So I've been testing out kind of like what it's like. running with the camera in there. But I also have a couple of those belts. Like one that you guys have seen a lot is the Naked belt. I also have Ultimate Direction and a couple others. But those will work really well too. Just stick like GoPro in there, a bunch of gels, stuff like that. So I'm trying to do as little gear as possible because I just really want to be focused on the essentials, like just running. And a lot like this race especially, there's so much aid. It's a looped course. I'm gonna have a crew. Like I normally don't have crews for my hundreds. And like it's gonna be a totally different experience. So I'm not gonna need to be carrying a whole bunch of stuff. Like a lot of times I carry just like a bunch of extra stuff in my pack, and like I'm not gonna do that this time. And there might be a couple miles here or there where I like really need something. Like, I mean, typically I'll have like a bag that has like Tylenol, salt pills, Tums, ginger candy, and I'll have these things like stuffed like in different spots all over my pack. I'm not gonna have any of that during this race, and I'm gonna have it with my crew, and because I'm gonna see my crew. I'll see them, I think, like, what would that be, like 7 times during the race, I think, because I'll see them in the middle and end of every loop. So I'll see my crew 7 times over the course of 100 miles. So I'm never going to be more than just a couple miles away from them if I need something. And yeah, I'm not going to carry like a ton of gels. I'm not going to carry like I'm just going to carry what I know I need to make it through to the next time I see my crew. And so that's really exciting for me. I've never had that opportunity. And I mean, I've done some races like Cruel Jewel. I had John crewing me for the first 50 miles, but it wasn't like this. Like I had to go, I think 25 miles before I saw him. And then I saw him like in another 5 miles, and then like another 8 miles. And then he was picking me up to pace. So it was just a really weird situation. So it, like I needed to be more prepared at the beginning, than I will at this race. And like Run Rabbit Run, I had a crew. Matt was there, and my family was there, but I only saw them one time in between the start and the halfway point. I think it was at like mile 16. So I saw him like once there, and then not again until midway point when I picked up Matt to pace. So a lot of these races I've done, I've not had an opportunity to have like a real, like actual, like crew situation. I've had to be really prepared and carry a lot of stuff. Others I've done, like I did Hallucination, and that was just totally different because I was doing that one like solo, and I just had a box of stuff when I came back around for every lap, and then everything else I was getting from aid stations. But that race became really simple because about 20 miles in, I couldn't eat anything, and I was relying on my sole calorie intake from mile 20 to the finish was Gatorade, and I think like I ate one cookie. And the Gatorade, I couldn't even drink that much because it was too sweet. Like it was just, I didn't like the flavor. So that race was just a wild realization of like what is possible to do. Like the human body can do, it can do anything. It was slow. Like I finished that race in 29 hours and 45 minutes. But yeah, 80 miles on just little sips of Gatorade and a cookie. But yeah, Aaron, it'll be fun to see you there. Logan Zoltan says, hey Ryan, so I'm in need of a new running hat. Know anyone selling one soon? Apologies if I missed updates on your hats in previous videos. Yeah, I actually haven't been able to update, but these are the hats. They're available now. They come in white and black. They come in a charcoal gray and then an all black. Is there another color? And then also a royal blue. That one's really cool too. I might pick up one of those too. But then we have some beanies as well, which these are pretty sweet. So yeah, really excited about the new hats in the merch store. So Logan, today's your day. Matthew says, just hopped on. Have we gotten a buckle cam shot yet? We did, but we can do another one. And we can put some music to it this time too. So here we go. This one's for you, Matthew. Thanks for requesting. Oh, and Justin too. Justin requested one too. Yes. We got it. All right. Luke Johnson says, yo, Ryan, just had an idea, but I think it'd be awesome if you take your live shows and turn them into a podcast with audio file. I watch a lot of your videos, but miss live streams sometimes. Yeah. Okay, Luke, I will do that. I always mean to, because the software that I use actually does record a separate audio file. So all I need to do is upload it. But my problem is always that I feel like a podcast needs to have like a recorded intro and a recorded outro. And like, I don't know, like personally, like I just never really knew how engaging it would be to listen to this, like a live Q&A basically on a podcast. But so many people have asked for it that I just do need to go ahead and do it. And so one day you'll probably see like 15 uploads, and then I'll start doing them every week. So yeah, Luke, I'll start doing it. Thanks for asking. Justin says, had a great conversation with the Ultra Aspire reps at Run Rabbit Run. Some really cool things fixing they got coming out with. Ooh, nice. Let me know what that is. Justin says the Speedgo 3 waist belt would be great for what you're doing, especially since they fixed it. Okay. I don't know if I've seen that one. But yeah, Justin, let me know what they've got going on. Shoot me a message or something. That would be cool. Ultra Aspire, I don't think I have. Oh yeah, I do. I have their waist light. I have two of them actually, because I bought two for Cruel Jewel. Because, so I bought two because I knew Cruel Jewel was going to be 2 nights, and I knew that I was going to get the first one at like this aid station, and then I was going to, drop it off. And then I was going to do the whole day. And then I knew what aid station I was going to need to have the next one at. And then I'd pick it up then. And then I just forgot to take the first one off. And at like middle of the afternoon, John was like, you're still wearing your waist light? And I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I still had my waist light on. So I wore my waist light for like 35 hours or something. 34 hours or so at the Cruel Jewel. So that was awesome. And I still have like a pretty much brand new unused waist light that just sat in a drop bag and then came home. But yeah, Ultra Aspire, like they make some good waist lights. I like them. Oliver says, do it. Okay, I will. Let's do it. Dallin Rick says, hello from Lubbock, Texas. Better late than never. How goes the taper? Yeah, man. Thanks for joining. Taper's going well so far. We're only about 2 days into it. I was saying I felt more energy tonight than I remember having in the evenings in a couple months, which is awesome. So I'm really hoping that some of these issues that I've been dealing with over the last couple of weeks start going away. And I think they will lessen. One is plantar fasciitis. I talk about that all the time. Like that's just, it's awful. And I think if I hadn't had it, when was that? Like 3 years ago or so, I would be very, very concerned right now and probably would have bailed on my training. if this was the first time I'd ever had plantar fasciitis, but it's not. I had it before for like 2 years, and then it just like mysteriously went away. And that was in my left foot. Now I've got it in my right foot. And a lot of people have asked if I think it's from the shoes I wear and switching away from Ultra. And I do not think that my shoes played a role in it, because the first time I had it was in the middle of my 5 years with Ultra. So, and I actually think that wearing different shoes and having variety strengthens your feet. So at least that's my personal opinion. But I believe it just happened from, maybe the first run. I honestly felt it the first run after Cruel Jewel. So something probably got maybe a minor injury that I didn't realize during Cruel Jewel, because there was just so much other carnage in my body that I just didn't notice. My plantar fascia probably was injured during the Cruel Jewel. And then I waited about, I think, like a week to do my first run. And immediately I felt it. And I was like, oh gosh. And so I waited a couple more days, and then the second run felt it again. And then by the third run, full blown plantar fasciitis. And so it was like, there's really, from like, I've seen multiple doctors. I've seen multiple physical therapists. I've seen a chiropractor, for plantar fasciitis in the past, probably like, 6 different specialists, including doctors. And the best help I got was from an actual foot doctor, and what he told me in my situation was that it's just going to be something that I'm just going to need to work through, and it will eventually take care of itself, or it won't. And like, that's not really great news. But he said there's a few things you can do, like stretching, and a couple other things. And I'm not prescribing anything for anybody right now, but I would definitely recommend seeing a doctor and a physical therapist. But yeah, he just like helped me kind of like get rid of it last time. And so this time, like, I know those steps, I'm just taking those steps, but I understand that, like, I've been through it before. And so I know that during this taper is going to be the best shot for it to kind of, clear up a little bit. And then the race is going to really hurt it again. But then after the race, I'll take a couple more weeks and see what I can do after that. But it's just something I live with now, and it's really rough. It's really rough. So that's the worst thing that I have going on. There's a couple other minor things that are going on, but I think they'll clear themselves up in the next week or so. Community CrossFit, Ryan, always bringing quality to his content. Thank you, sir, or ma'am. Robert White, what's your foot strike? I'm pretty straightforward mid-foot, but yeah, you can check out probably any YouTube video that's on my channel. Probably shows my foot strike, including the one I uploaded today. You should all go check out after this live stream. My GoPro Hero 10 video. Help the YouTube algorithm know that I exist. Go watch it. Watch it all the way through. Honestly, if you want to help out YouTube creators, the best way to do it is to watch a video from beginning to end, because that is the and then comment. That is the number one thing. Watch time and engagement. That's what YouTube looks for. So if you want to help out creators, watch their videos from beginning to end. And yeah. So if you have a few minutes to spare, or you're not going to be using your phone, you just want to like press play on the video and go do something else, check out my GoPro Hero 10 video. Stephen McNeil's here. Hello from Midland, Texas. How you doing, Stephen? I Love Jogging says, massage therapist here. Trigger points for PF. Oh, really? I need to find out more information about this. I have not ever seen a massage therapist for my plantar fasciitis. Maybe that is the missing key to this whole thing. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to Google that later tonight. Justin Turnbow says, do I love watching all your content? Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, I'm going to start wrapping up tonight. Let me know if you have any last minute questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We've already talked about kind of like how my training's gone, my plan for taper. I'll update you guys next week on how my taper's going. And hopefully during these next couple of weeks, I'll have a little bit extra time where I can work on some more videos. Honestly, the last couple of weeks, like, I'm not kidding. Like, I've just been like just destroyed, and mainly from my training, but also my jobs. Like, just, there was 1 week, 2 weeks ago where I picked up extra shifts, or it was last week, picked up extra shifts at my second job, and just like, it was like bad timing. So it was like, I have like 85 miles this week, and then I'm working extra shifts. So yeah, I've been pretty dead the last couple of weeks. So the YouTube content has been, yeah, I know it needs to get better. I know that, guys. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks, I'll have a little more energy that I can invest into it. And then go race. Like, and honestly, like, this has been so fun to like have a real goal, like a performance goal. Because I feel like, okay, and I always tell people, like, don't worry about performance in your first 100 miler and even your first couple. And I would say, like, I've finished 5. I've attempted 7. So I would say after maybe after 5, start looking at performance. And that's kind of like where I am. So I guess I could just tell you where I am. I feel like I have a much better understanding of what it takes to complete the distance after finishing 5 of them. If I was going for performance on my first or second one, like, I would have probably DNF'd, honestly. But I think I'm in a place where, I've been able to like really put in like a massive load of training, more than I ever have. And I feel like I have the kind of experience and the knowledge where I can actually maybe apply all of that into hopefully a pretty solid race in this race. And like I said, my goal is sub 24. So if I hit that, I'll be really happy. But I feel like there's a chance I could go quicker. So we'll see. A lot of it also depends on weather. I mean, there's a lot of variables. Am I going to, like, what if I get sick week before? Like, what if my nutrition really screws up again? There's so many variables in these races. Like, you can't count on anything. So yeah, we'll see. I'm really excited though. And I'm really glad that you guys are all here, hanging out, on a Tuesday night, and, just, bringing the questions and following along. That's awesome, guys. Will W says, in the taper here's, well, nice, dealing with performance strain that spiked just as I was finishing up training. Here's hoping a taper does the magic for us. Yes, I don't know what that is, but hopefully, yes, taper magic. Let's get healed up. Lou says, thank you for that. I've got my first 100 miler in April. Awesome. Good luck, man. Next level race. Mogi and Monster. What a beast. ITNF brutal course. That looks like, since it was a new course this year, I was wondering, I haven't really seen a whole lot of people talk about it. I know that, we all, like, probably all of us follow Jamil, and he wasn't able to finish. But yeah, seems like it was a beast. But he also did like UTMB like 2 weeks before or something. But yeah, I would love to go out there. There's not a whole lot out, like content video wise, on that race. Like there's a lot of stuff of certain places, but I don't even know what most of the trail looks like. But I'd love to go out there at some point. JJ Sherman says, doing my first 100 in February, and your videos are great inspiration and really helps with my preparation. Thank you. Oh, that's awesome. And thank you for saying stuff like that. I mean, that's like, honestly, I do this because it's fun, but it's an added bonus when other people can like learn from some of the lessons I've learned. So that's really, really cool. I Love Jogging says, you will do great IT. No doubt you'll get sub 24. Thanks for the show as always. Oh, it's awesome. Thank you so much. Dallin says, trucker hat purchase. So excited. Nice. Awesome. Thank you guys. And definitely, let me know if, let me know like how it all looks. If there's like issues with it, like, I don't know if something's screwed up, I'm not shipping it to you. So, there's a provider that's like making it and shipping it. So I'm not actually able to inspect everything that goes out. So if there's issues, definitely like take them up with that company. Like if they send you the wrong one or it looks like junk or something like that. 'Cause it's not me sending it to you. So yeah, if you get something that looks bad, it's not like, let's fix it. But yeah, then post on Instagram, tag me, all the things. That would be so cool. Justin says, I love mine. Gray one is great. Awesome. So cool. All right. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to wrap it up here. And then go watch the GoPro Hero 10 video. Give the algorithm some love. And then, yeah, good luck with your training as well. Sounds like a lot of people have some races coming up. A lot of us are tapering right now, which is awesome. Don't eat too much food, sleep more, and yeah, let's keep the stress down and the recovery up. So on that note, thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.